Explosions outside the Kabul airport.
The lives we lost today were lives given in the service of liberty.
After evacuation efforts. New evidence from Surfside.
I can assure you that our investigation into what caused the collapse will be thorough.
Reveals extensive corrosion from the partial condo collapse. And respiratory viruses increased during the pandemic.
The penalties will be applied to the politicians who violated the law.
As Governor DeSantis answers questions about COVID. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Danelle Dukin.
And I'm Zitlali Solati. Today is Friday, August 27, 2021.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
A new terror group calling itself ISIS-K is now claiming responsibility for bombings near the Kabul airport that wounded 150 people and killed 60. Including more than a dozen members of the U.S. Armed Forces. President Biden harshly condemning the actions of the ISIS-K after the devastating attack on Afghani citizens.
Isabel Rosales from our news partner CNN reports from Washington.
President Biden says we will strike back against ISIS-K with targeted attacks outside of full military operations. Some experts argue that will be difficult.
The lives we lost today were lives given in the service of liberty.
America in mourning. The flag on top of the White House now at half-staff in honor of the U.S. service members killed during terror attacks in Kabul, Afghanistan Thursday morning.
These American service members who gave their lives, it's an overused word, but it's totally appropriate here, were heroes. Heroes who've been engaged in a dangerous, selfless mission to save the lives of others.
ISIS in Khorasan, also known as ISIS-K, claiming responsibility for the carnage created by the suicide bombings.
The threat from ISIS is extremely real. We've been talking about this for several days. We saw it actually manifest itself here in the last few hours with an actual attack.
One bombing at a hotel, another at an airport checkpoint where people were lined up desperately trying to evacuate the country before the August 31st deadline.
Clearly, if they were able to get up to the Marines at the screening at the entry point of the base, there's a failure somewhere. It was a failure by, the Taliban operate with varying degrees of competence.
The Biden administration is now vowing swift retribution in response to the deadly attacks.
We're prepared to take action against them. 24/7, we are looking for them.
We will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay.
President Biden says we will not be intimidated or deterred by these terrorists from the mission at hand here, which is the continuation of these evacuations. At last check, 1,000 Americans, about that number, still in the country. In Washington, I'm Isabel Rosales.
New details this morning coming from the Surfside Condo collapse.
An investigation just announced to determine the cause of the tragedy. The network's Christopher Gomez reports from Surfside.
Danelle Zitlali, new video released yesterday about the Surfside Condo collapse showing serious structural damage.
We would recommend a full technical investigation.
Preliminary investigations have been taking place ever since the day of the collapse.
Once we established an investigation, how we were going to weave our efforts and allow the search and rescue to be the primary effort, but weave in our efforts in between there.
Damaged beams like these are some of the things that government officials are currently looking for as their investigation is underway.
Hundreds of pieces of building debris and representative material specimens have been tagged and preserved for further study.
The National Institute of Standards and Technology assuring residents this morning that they will find the cause of the collapse.
I can assure you that our investigation into what caused the collapse will be thorough. We have brought together a team of world-class experts who will work as long as it takes to identify the likely technical cause or causes of the collapse.
And this committee asking for help from anyone that may have information about the tragedy.
We're trying to understand how this building failed. We would like to reconstruct this failure, and in order to do that, we need as much information as possible.
An investigation has been opened using local and federal resources to determine what the cause of the collapse was, in the hopes that a tragedy like this never happens again. Reporting from Surfside, Christopher Gomez, South Florida Media Network.
The coronavirus pandemic this morning is colliding with an unseasonable epidemic of RSV, a respiratory illness. RSV is landing children in already overcrowded hospitals across the country. Meanwhile, here in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis is answering COVID questions from the media.
Penalties will be applied to the politicians who violated the law. There'll be no penalties applied to school children or teachers or any of that.
While speaking in Central Florida yesterday, the governor said that there should be an announcement concerning the state's first lawsuit involving Broward and Alachua counties. In the next few days, he also said to expect an appeal regardless of which side wins.
A school board meeting in South Florida took the wrong turn after addressing mask mandates. Palm Beach County School Board Chair Frank Barbieri giving warnings during yesterday's meeting after some speakers refused to wear masks. Some were even seen insulting the board members, and one speaker was even taken away in handcuffs after he refused to leave.
You should resign and go flip yourself off.
I want her removed for that remark.
The Palm Beach County School District is just one of the many going against the governor's orders and enforcing mask mandates. Although those districts now risk losing state funding, board members say they're willing to do so for the safety of students.
Tropical Storm Ida forecasted to become a major hurricane this weekend. Early this morning, Ida was last centered over the Grand Cayman Islands, moving northwest with speeds up to 15 miles per hour and winds reaching 45 miles per hour. Later tonight, the National Weather Service predicts the system to pass through the southeastern and central part of the Gulf of Mexico into tomorrow morning. By Sunday, Tropical Storm Ida will be approaching the northern Gulf Coast.
Chobani taking steps to be more environmentally friendly.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
And we are here for Naomi. We love her and we support her.
Star in New York for the U.S. Open goes back to the courts in Queens where she first learned the game. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Surprise on the court. Naomi Osaka surprises kids at an event near her childhood home in Queens.
Osaka yesterday visited the tennis court in New York City to practice her play with kids. Liberty Tennis, a nonprofit group in Queens, hosted the event with the pro athlete. Kids were able to have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play alongside Osaka.
I started watching her when I started playing tennis. I started watching her a lot. She was really good.
Osaka also calls South Florida home, living and training in Boca Raton. She also has a home in Southern California, which she brought from Nick Jonas over the summer.
Chobani, the popular yogurt cup company, has found a new way to protect the environment: paper cups. The company will be introducing a more eco-friendly paper design that reduces the amount of plastic in use. According to company executives, the new design is recyclable and will be better for the environment.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Zitlali Solache.
I'm Danelle Dukin. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.